guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have the event for Monster Jam sign-up series number 216. So before we get things started, as always, I am going to start off by showing you guys the field of trucks, which that is what you guys are looking at right now. So basically, I am just going to scroll through the list here, and you guys can look for your name and then see what truck you are in. So for this sign-up series, I did end up getting a total of 66 sign-ups. So we have 66 competitors here today, which is actually 2 more than last time, because for series 215, we had 64 trucks, and now this time we have 66. So yeah, this should be a great sign-up series. There's the bottom of the first page, and now here is the second and final page. Like I said, there is 66 competitors here, so we're almost to the end. And that is the field of trucks, guys, and now let's take a look at the races. So here are all the trucks right here lined up and ready to go. So like I said, we're going to take a look at the races. So the first race of round 1 is going to be Ride Truck Blue Thunder versus OCD Meltdown. And then here's the first row right here. There is 5 rows of trucks. Here's the second. So again, you guys can look for your truck, and you will see who you are racing in round 1, as well as when your race is going to happen. So there's the end of the third row. And now here is row 4. And now here is the final row, which is also the longest row. And round 1 is going to end off with the Gears Max D and the Darkest Neo Bakugan Dragonoid. So those are all the races for round number 1. And now the very last thing that we very quickly have to go over before we begin is the track. Or not necessarily the track, but just the rules. So here is what we're using, as always, the Show Off Showdown ramp. And then here is the area where they're going to race. And as always, just in case you guys are new to my sign-up series, this is why I go over it every time. But here is the end. So we have monster trucks right here, as well as right there, and my laptop in the middle. So if both trucks hit that line, whoever hits it first will advance. And if they hit it at the exact same time, we will do a rerun. And then obviously, if neither truck hits it, obviously it's a sign-up series. So whoever goes farther is the winner. So that's how it's going to work. And without further ado, we're going to kick things off with the Ride Truck Blue Thunder taking on OCD Meltdown. So round number 1 is underway. And the first win is going to go to OCD Meltdown. Next up, we have Batman taking on the first debuting truck, Higher Education from Mix 18. And it looks like Higher Education is going to take the win in his debut. Next up, we have Fire Max D taking on the Gears Soldier Fortune. And it's going to go to Fire Max D. He hit the line first. Next up, we have Iron Outlaw taking on the Galaxy's Dragon. And no surprise there, Iron Outlaw will take the win. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Husky taking on another debuting truck, the Elemental Bakugan Dragonoid. And, oh, Monster Mutt Poodle is going to win with a block. Next up, we have Saigon Shaker taking on Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And Dalmatian hit it first. I don't think both trucks were in the camera view there, so I apologize, but Dalmatian did hit the line first, but very close race. Next up, we have the third debuting truck, which is the Showtime Son of a Digger, and he is taking on the Fire Mohawk Warrior. And Son of a Digger is going to take the win. Next up, we have another debuting truck, which is the Max Contrast Blue Thunder, and he is going to be taking on Wolf's Head. And it's going to go to the Max Contrast Blue Thunder. Next up, we have the Mystery Machine taking on Stone Crusher. And Stone Crusher hit it first. That was a very close race, but Stone Crusher is going to advance to round number 2. Next up, we have Raisin Cane taking on the Red Crustacean. And it's going to go to, I believe, Crustacean. I think he hit the line first just barely. I'm going to go back and make sure, but if that's the case, he will be moving on to round number 2. So as you guys saw right there, that was such a close race, but Crustacean did move on. And next up, we have the Galaxy's El Toro Loco taking on the debuting Showtime Megalodon. And it's going to go to El Toro Loco Galaxies. That was another race that was super close, but I think that one was a little bit more obvious to tell that El Toro Loco hit it first, so he will advance. Next up, we have 2 debuting trucks from Mix 19. We have Sparkle Smash taking on Max D. It's going to go to Sparkle Smash, another close race, but that's another one where I think it's pretty obvious to tell that Sparkle Smash did hit it first, but what a race. Next up, we have Inverse Alien Invasion taking on Backwards Bob. It's going to go to Backwards Bob, another close race. Next up, we have Kraken taking on the Galaxy Zombie. And it's going to go to Kraken. He barely hit the line first, but man, this sign-up series has been great so far. Next up, we have a battle of mixed 17 trucks. We have Red Zombie taking on the Showtime Black El Toro Loco. And it's going to go to Red Zombie. Next up, we have the Galaxy's Bakugan Dragonoid taking on the Rydtruck Gravedigger, who has won the last 2 sign-up series, trying to win 3 in a row. But he's going to be stopped in round number 1. He loses against the Galaxy's Bakugan Dragonoid. What an upset, but Rydtruck Gravedigger is not going to get his 3rd consecutive win. Next up, we have another debuting truck, which is the Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune, and he is taking on the Gears Whiplash. It's going to go to Soldier Fortune, just barely. Next up, we have the World Finals 20 Avenger taking on the Ice Blue Thunder. And it's going to go to Ice Blue Thunder. Next up, we have Cyclops taking on the Ice Dragon. And it's going to go to Ice Dragon, yet another close race. Next up, we have the debuting Elemental Gravedigger taking on Double Decker. And it's going to go to Double Decker. This sign-up series has been crazy. Almost every single race has been extremely close. Next up, we have the debuting Monster Mutt Husky from Mix 19 taking on Bulldozer. And another close race, but this one I think is going to go to Monster Mutt Husky. Next up, we have Texas taking on Calavera. Another close race. This might be our first rerun, but let me go back and watch it for myself. Alright guys, so looking back at the clip, that was just way too close to call. They hit the line at the exact same time. That was the definition of simultaneous right there. So we have switched up the lanes, and now we're going to do a rerun. And this time it is going to go to Calavera with a big upset win over Texas. Next up, we have Gears Alien Invasion taking on Fire Megalodon. It's going to go to Fire Megalodon just barely. If I'm being completely honest, I have not had a sign-up series like this in a long time. Almost every single race has been close. This sign-up series has been crazy so far. And next up, we have Tropical Thunder taking on the Training Trucks Zombie. And that might be another rerun. Let me go back and watch it for myself. Alright guys, so as you saw from the replay right there, the Training Truck Zombie just barely hit the line first before Tropical Thunder, so Zombie is going to take the win, but that was just another super close race, and now we have another race that could be good. We have 2 debuting trucks. We have the Reckless Max D taking on the Spectra Gravedigger. It's going to go to the Spectra Gravedigger. Next up, we have Whiplash taking on Fire Zombie. And it's going to go to Whiplash. Next up, we have Galaxy's Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the debuting Raw Crustacean. And it's going to go to Crustacean. Next up, we have Scooby-Doo taking on Black Pearl. And it's going to go to Scooby-Doo just barely. Next up, we have the Fire and Ice Gravedigger taking on the Gears Blue Thunder. It's going to go to Blue Thunder just barely. Next up, we have Thrasher taking on the Max Contrast Earthshaker. And it's going to go to Max Contrast Earthshaker, who I forgot to mention is making his debut. Next up, we have the Rydtruck BKT taking on the Elemental Dragon. And it's going to be the Rydtruck BKT. Next up, we have the Sheer Madness Gravedigger taking on the debuting Bro Camino. It's going to go to the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. Next up, we have the final race of round number 1 until the Fast Loser race, which is going to be between the Gears Max D and the Darkest Neo Bakugan Dragonoid. It's going to go to the Gears Max D. Alright guys, so here's a look at all of the trucks that have moved on to round number 2. There are 33 trucks, but as you guys can see, we need a Fast Loser to see who is going to take on the Gears Max D. Now, I have picked 2 trucks that actually had very good runs in round number 1, and those 2 trucks are Tropical Thunder and Raisin Cane, so let's find out who's going to be your Fast Loser. It's going to be Tropical Thunder. So now it is officially time for round number 2, and there are 34 trucks remaining, so we will also have a Fast Loser in this round, because 34 would go down to 17, which is an odd number. So here's all the races. You guys can see who you'll be taking on, and best of luck to everybody that's still in the event. And we're going to kick things off with OCD Meltdown taking on Higher Education. So round number 2 is underway. And the first win is going to go to Higher Education. Next up, we have a battle of 2 of the fastest trucks on my channel. We got the Fire Max D taking on Iron Outlaw. And Fire Max D turns to the right. I don't really know why, but that's going to give the win to Iron Outlaw. Next up, we have a battle of the Mutts. We got Monster Mutt Poodle taking on Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And it's going to go to Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Next up, we have 2 debuting trucks. We got the Showtime Son of a Digger taking on the Max Contrast Blue Thunder. And wow, they made contact on the ramp. And Son of a Digger Showtime is going to block the Blue Thunder Max Contrast for the win. Next up, we have Stone Crusher taking on the Red Crustacean. And it's going to go to the Red Crustacean. Next up, we have the Galaxy's El Toro Loco taking on Sparkle Smash. It's going to go to Sparkle Smash, but what a race. Next up, we have Backwards Bob taking on Kraken. And it is going to go to Kraken. Next up, we have Red Zombie taking on the Galaxy's Bakugan Dragonoid. And it's going to go to maybe Dragonoid, but let me go take a look. So when I was watching it live, I thought maybe the Galaxy's Dragonoid hit it first, but looking back at the clip, that was honestly just way too close to call. So we're going to switch up the lanes and let's do a rerun. And wow, this time I don't really know what that was. They kind of land awkwardly, but as you can see for sure, the Red Zombie did go farther than the Galaxy's Dragonoid. Next up, we have Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune taking on Ice Blue Thunder. And it's going to go to the Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune. Next up, we have Ice Dragon taking on Double Decker. And it's going to go to Ice Dragon, but what a race. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Husky taking on Calavera. And it's going to go to Calavera. He just barely hit the line first. Next up, we have Fire Megalodon taking on the Training Truck Zombie. And it's going to go to Training Truck Zombie. Sorry about that, guys. Next up, we have the Spectro Gravedigger taking on Whiplash. And it's going to go to Whiplash. Next up, we have Raw Crustacean taking on Scooby-Doo. It's going to go to Scooby-Doo. Next up, we have Gears Blue Thunder taking on the Max Contrast Earthshaker. And it's going to go to, I think it was the Gears Blue Thunder, just barely. Next up, we have Ride Truck BKT taking on the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. And, oh, I think that's going to be a rerun. Let me go take a look. All right, guys, so looking back at the clip, that was just way too close to call, so we have switched up the lanes, and here goes the rerun. And it's going to go to the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. Next up, we have the final race of round number 2 until the Fast Loser race, which is going to be between the Gears Max D and Tropical Thunder. And it's going to go to Tropical Thunder. So here are all the trucks that have moved on to round number 3. There are 17 trucks remaining. And as you can see, we need a Fast Loser race to see who is going to take on Tropical Thunder. And the 2 trucks that I have selected are Fire Max D and the Ride Truck BKT. So let's see who is going to take the win. It is going to be the Ride Truck BKT. So now it is officially time for round number 3. Here are all the trucks that are still in it. We are down to 18, and yet again, we will need a Fast Loser in this round because 18 is going to go down to 9, which is an odd number, so we will have a Fast Loser. So yeah, here's all the races. You guys can see who you're facing, and we're going to kick things off with Higher Education taking on Iron Outlaw. So round number 3 is underway. And the first win is going to go to Iron Outlaw. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Showtime Son of a Digger. And it's going to go to Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Next up, we have the Red Crustacean taking on Sparkle Smash. And it's going to go to Crustacean. That is 3 debuting trucks to lose in a row. First Higher Education, then the Showtime Son of a Digger, and now Sparkle Smash. Next up, we have Kraken taking on the Red Zombie. And it's going to go to Kraken with a block. Next up, we have the Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune taking on the Ice Dragon. And it's going to go to the Ice Dragon. What a race. Next up, we have Calavera taking on the Training Truck Zombie. And it's going to go to the Training Truck Zombie, just barely. Next up, we have 2 very fast trucks. We got Whiplash taking on Scooby-Doo. And it's going to go to Whiplash, just barely. Next up, we have Gears Blue Thunder taking on the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. And it's going to go to the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. What a race. Next up, we have the final race of round number 3 until the Fast Loser race, which is going to be between Tropical Thunder and Ride Truck BKT. And it's going to go to the Ride Truck BKT. So these 9 trucks have moved on to round number 4, but we're going to need another Fast Loser race to see who is going to take on the Ride Truck BKT. And the 2 trucks that I have selected are Red Zombie and Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune. And it's going to be the Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune. Alright guys, so now it is officially time for round number 4. We are down to just 10 trucks, and yet again, we're going to need another Fast Loser race in this round because 10 will go down to 5, which is an odd number, so you'll have a Fast Loser race to make it 6. So, yeah, here's all the races. We got 5 races here for this round, and we're going to kick things off with Iron Outlaw taking on Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So round number 4 is underway. And the first win is going to go to Monster Mutt Dalmatian. What an upset. Next up, we have Red Crustacean taking on Kraken. And it's going to go to, I think, Crustacean, but let me go take a look. So as you guys saw right there, that was so close, but just barely. The Red Crustacean did take the win, but Kraken will probably be in the fast loser race. And next up, we have Ice Dragon taking on Training Truck Zombie. And it's going to go to Training Truck Zombie. Next up, we have Whiplash taking on the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. And it's going to go to the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. What a race. Next up, we have the final race of round number 4, which is going to be between the Ride Truck BKT and the Sheer Madness Soldier Fortune. And it's going to go to the Ride Truck BKT. Let's go! So these 5 trucks have moved on to the quarterfinals, but we have to do a fast loser to see who's going to take on the Ride Truck BKT. And the 2 trucks I have chosen are Kraken and Ice Dragon. And it's going to go to Ice Dragon. So here are the 6 trucks that have moved on to round number 5, which technically I guess we could call it the quarterfinals. So let's quickly go over the field of trucks. Inside of Monster Mutt Dalmatian, we have number 1 Felicia Fan. Inside of Red Crustacean, we have Mega Monster Jam 97A. Inside of the Training Truck Zombie, we have Monster Jam Dallas. Inside of the Sheer Madness Gravedigger, we have Shock Shooter. Inside of Ride Truck BKT, we have Monster Jam Fanatic. And inside of Ice Dragon, we have Antonio Rodriguez III. So out of these 6 people, obviously 3 of them are going to advance, and then we will need a fast loser. So 2 out of the 3 losers will have a shot at the fast loser, if that makes sense. And without further ado, we're going to kick things off with Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Red Crustacean. So who is going to be the first person to move on to the semifinals? I think it was Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Let me go take a look. Next up, we have the Training Truck Zombie taking on the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. It is going to go to the Training Truck Zombie. Next up, we have the final race until the fast loser race between the Ride Truck BKT and Ice Dragon. And it is going to go to Ice Dragon. So these 3 trucks have moved on to the semifinals. Now for the fast loser race, instead of picking 2 out of the 3 losers, what I decided to do is something that I have not done in a while. I honestly could not tell you the last time I did one of these, but I have decided to do a triple threat race. We have Shock Shooter and Sheer Madness Gravedigger, Mega Monster Jam 97A and Crustacean, and Monster Jam Fanatic, and the Ride Truck BKT. Let's see who is going to be your fast loser. It is going to be Shock Shooter and the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. If you probably want to know, this is it. This is the semifinals of Sign Up Series 216. So let's go over the field of trucks. Inside of Monster Mutt Dalmatian, we have number 1 Felicia Fan. Inside of Training Truck Zombie, we have Monster Jam Dallas. Inside of Ice Dragon, we have Antonio Rodriguez III. And inside of the Sheer Madness Gravedigger, we have Shock Shooter. I almost said inside of the Shock Shooter. But anyways, so the very quick statistics of these 4 trucks and drivers. So number 1 Felicia Fan is in his debut. He's never won before. But Dalmatian, on the other hand, is a 2-time championship truck. It won Series 186 and 190. And Ice Dragon is also a 2-time championship truck. It won 178 and 180. So that truck has not won in a while since Sign Up Series 180. And for Dalmatian, it's been since 190. So, yeah, but Antonio Rodriguez III has never won. And then for Training Truck Zombie, that is a 1-time championship truck. It won Series 184, and Monster Jam Dallas has 1 championship himself, which was Series 213, so pretty recently. And then Sheer Madness Gravedigger is a 1-time championship truck. So was the driver Shock Shooter, and it was actually Shock Shooter in this same exact truck in Sign Up Series 209 when he got it done. He's looking to become a 2-time champion in the same exact truck he was in just 7 Sign Up Series ago. But without further ado, enough talking. Let's see who's going to go to the championship race. So who's going to go to the championship race? Is it going to be number 1 Felicia Fan or Monster Jam Dallas? It is going to be number 1 Felicia Fan and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. The Training Truck Zombie was so close to getting its 2nd ever win, and Monster Jam Dallas was so close to getting his 2nd ever win. But better luck next time, bro. Monster Mutt Dalmatian, though, is in the championship race. So who is going to meet number 1 Felicia Fan in the championship race? Is it going to be Antonio Rodriguez III in the Ice Dragon, or will it be Shock Shooter in the Sheer Madness Gravedigger? Dragon. Oh, I don't know. Let me go take a look at the clip. So as you guys just saw from the instant replay, just barely, the Sheer Madness Gravedigger hit the line first. Shock Shooter is going to the championship race, and he's going to try to win in the same exact truck he won in Sign-Up Series 209. As for the Ice Dragon, he was so close to getting his third ever win, and Antonio Rodriguez III has been signing up for my Sign-Up Series for a while, and you were so close to getting your first ever win, man. But better luck in Sign-Up Series 217 to you, bro. If you guys probably want to know, this is it. This is the championship race for Sign-Up Series 216. Inside of Monster Mutt Dalmatian, we have number 1 Felicia Fan, and inside of the Sheer Madness Gravedigger, we have Shock Shooter. So, both of these trucks have won before. Monster Mutt Dalmatian's won twice, Sheer Madness Gravedigger has won once. But number 1 Felicia Fan is in his debut, trying to get his first ever win, obviously. And like I've said a couple times, Shock Shooter is trying to get his second win in the same truck that he won in just 7 Sign-Up Series ago. One more thing that I want to point out really quickly before we do this race is on my channel, ever since I've been introducing Spin Master trucks to my channel in 2019, there have been 8 Spin Masters to have 2 wins on my channel. None of them have ever won 3 times. Monster Mutt Dalmatian is trying to be the first truck to ever do that. But let's find out who it's going to be. Your winner of Monster Jam Sign-Up Series number 216 is going to be none other than... It is going to be Shock Shooter in the Sheer Madness Gravedigger. The same exact driver and truck that won Series 209 has now done it 7 series later in Series 216. Congratulations, man. You really deserved it, bro. And like I said, you are now a 2-time champion on my channel. That's 2 Sign-Up Series in a row where the driver has won his second win, because last time it was the Airplane Geek when he got his second ever championship. And Monster Mutt Dalmatian is not going to become a 3-time championship truck this time, so it is still an 8-way tie at 2 wins for Spin Master trucks on my channel. And as for number 1 Felicia Fan, that was really good for your debut, but better luck next time, and maybe you can finally win in just your second ever Sign-Up Series on my channel. And that is basically going to do it for this video, guys. So congratulations one last time to Shock Shooter, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you're new, because we're almost to 3,000 subscribers. I actually just hit 2,900, thankfully, so I'm about 100 away. And then turn on post notifications, leave a comment down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.